Hello. The story I want to tell you today. It takes place in Saitama Prefecture, Japan. Saitama Prefecture is a prefecture located in the southeastern part of Japan, located in the Tokyo metropolitan area. In the southeastern part of Saitama Prefecture, there's a city called Misato. It is about 20 kilometers from Tokyo and covers an area of 30,000 kilometers square. Today's story takes place here. The main character of the story is Junko Furuta. The 18th of January 1971. The time of the story. You are 17 years old. He's a student at Yasuo Minami High School, Saitama Prefecture. She has a cheerful personality and a sweet appearance. Very well liked by other students in the school. Her father was a business executive in a furniture factory. Box and mom is a housewife. Apart from her parents, she has a brother and a younger brother. The family's condition is not good. The economy is carried by the father alone. To ease the burden of Chodoong, she decided to go to work after graduating from high school. Outside of school hours, you are also an employee. To provide more support for the family. Sales in a home appliance store. By the time I'm about to graduate from she asked for an interview at a company and excellently passed the selection. After graduation, you can come to the company to start working. It's like a new journey in your life. But no one could have expected that. One day on the way home from work, you've met a demon. And what happened after that? It makes everyone feel sad when they hear it. So what happened that day? Next we're going to push back time. Back to the 5th of November 1988. The 25th of November 1988, it was a beautiful Friday. As usual after school, Junko went to work part-time at a plastic factory. 20 hours 20. She finished the work and started to leave. She picked up her briefcase and cycled her way home. There are only a few street lights, and there's almost no pedestrians. Suddenly, a strange man on a motorcycle came running to the back and kicked hard at you. The whole car fell to the ground. Before you can react, the man on the motorcycle quickly ran away. Just when you're trying to get up, there was a young man who came to help and said that he was from the underworld. He's watching you. And then he added, maybe he'll come back to hurt you. It's very dangerous. And he can escort you home. She had just fallen down and was still dizzy. You don't understand what happened. But she felt that the man in front of me is a good man. So you set the car and limp follow. You can walk for a while and see the remote location and no people. He stopped to tell her he's also a member of the local gang. And the man on the motorcycle just now was his accomplice. His name is Hiroshi Mizano. 18 years old and currently out of school at home. He then attacked her and said, if you're willing to spend the night with me, I'll let you go. Or you will die. Finally, because she was too afraid, Yang has agreed to his request. To 1 hour 50. Hiroshi takes her to a nearby hotel. And now I'm losing you. But then, he didn't keep his promise to let her go home instead. A more sinister idea has arisen. He dated 3 other criminals together in a park. That person is Ogura Shinji Minato. Yasushi Watanabe. This is the same person who kicked you on a motorcycle. 3 hours. 3 young drivers waiting in front of the park. Not long after, Hidoshi brought Yanshi to meet. For people 6 check your bag and found a diary with your home address in it. The 4 people they threatened were, we'll come to your house to murder your whole family if you dare to run away. Young, you are extremely afraid. I think you might actually do that. So, you had to obey them. After a discussion, the group of 4 decides to take her to Shinji's house. His house in the Ezek area of Tokyo's Adaki Ward. Shinji's house is a 2-story house. There is a power pole outside, He often hiding leads you to your room on the second floor. Across the power pole line Shinju's family has for people. In addition to his parents, he has a brother. His parents live on the first floor. He and his brother live on the second floor. Early in the morning that day, for people they gave, Yang-shi went to the bedroom on the second floor and detained her. Shinju's father was traveling at the time. Only mother and brother are left in the house. At first they worried that Yang-shi would mess up. I took care of her very carefully and enthusiastically. Yang, you feel that they'll let you go after a while. So she didn't try to use her strength to escape. That day, Hiroshi is worried that her people's parents will call the police for not finding a girl. So, he asked her to call home and say, "You've been in a bad mood lately. So, I went to a friend's house. You need your own space. I hope the whole family doesn't worry too much." By phone, Yang's parents, "I didn't notice anything unusual. They think their daughter's at your house. So, I didn't call the police." 2 days later to 28/11, the four of them feel depressed. I want to find something more fun. So they called to more friends to the house to join the fun. The noise in the room was too loud. That caught Father Shinju's attention. Someone just returned from a trip. After being asked, Shinji said that Junko is his new girlfriend and asked you not to bother them. Then, all 6 men rushed into group game time for her. Because she was too afraid, Yang tried to endure. That's what makes a group of 6 very happy. A few days later, Yang, you are constantly taken out as fun. One day Shinju's mother went to the second floor to clean her room. I accidentally saw Yang there. She knew her son had brought her home before. I can't believe the girl is still there. So she asked Yang to come home quickly. However, a few days later, she found Yang on the second floor. I asked you to go home. And then she didn't question her son. It was December. It's very cold outside, for young people regularly gather at Shinju's house. Take off your clothes and dance to the music. They even made you wear nothing. Standing outside the balcony on the second floor, it made her faint because it was too cold. The next time, Yang-shi constantly suffers from excessive demands. It can't be described. They stopped her parents from calling the police. Hiroshi would sometimes ask her to call home. So parents don't have to worry. They find you very obedient. The more I hurt you. When one of them is tired, one of them, I will stay and take care of you. The rest of us went out to get food. Then we'll have fun for you when we get back. Hiroshi even used a camera to capture those moments, then take Yang to see. One day Hiroshi lied to her Yang that your father died suddenly in a traffic accident. I see your sadness. He made fun of it and said he was joking. The whole group kept using the same words to torture your heart. During that time, a member of the group who's trying to get her released, but they were discovered and warned by the group. And then the whole group went on to have fun with her. At that time, Yang-shi could not bear to call for help. Shinji's parents are downstairs. You hear the noise, but don't stop it, because they're afraid of these young people. The 12th of July 1988, 13th day of detention. The 6 men who stayed up late fell asleep. In the last period of time, Yang, you have suffered a lot, both mentally and physically. But she still tried to get dressed, run down to the first floor, go to the phone and call the police. But before you can explain, situation with the police. Hiroshi was right behind. He's angry at your VI. He hung up the phone and dragged her back to the second floor. Then he called the operator back and said, "It was just a joke from my friends." Then he ran upstairs and poured gasoline on her feet and set it on fire to punish. As a result, her leg was burned and she couldn't walk. Others see that, also follow, and burn other parts of her body. Junko's wounds. It starts to fester and smell bad, not getting help in time. Shinji's parents have noticed that the situation at home is not good, but afraid of the husband angry young people. So, they turned a blind eye. Shinji's brother also lives on the second floor. He also knows about Yang. Because of fear, I did not dare to call the police. Only occasionally bring milk, bread, and other food for you. John, you can't walk due to burns in many places. You finally have to lie on the floor. You can just go to the bathroom on the spot. Some members in a group of 6. They used to think of that room as a place to stay. And what John did makes them feel extremely uncomfortable. They even forced her to eat her own shit. Gradually the food they give her is getting less and less. Maybe just a box of milk a day. A few pieces of bread. Maybe hungry. Hidoshi even had her for peeing off the floor. Dirty his feet. They're constantly attacking her in the face. Makes the face swollen and deformed. They're excited about that. At that time Yang was in a state of dying. And for them, Yangshi is just a hobby to relieve desire. But now you're dirty, smelly and unable to meet their needs. But they don't want to let you go. They will be arrested by the police. Then a plan. It's even more sinister. It's formed in their heads. He lost over 100,000 yen playing mahjong last night. Dirty and smelly. It's even harder to make a sound. 41st day of detention. 6 hours 30. Hiroshi arrives at Shinji's house with an angry expression on his face. Should feel depressed. When she's so young she lay on the floor. He used his anger on you. At that time, Yang's consciousness was in a state of confusion. Her feet couldn't move because they were rotten. They can only be manipulated by others. Hiroshi is still not satisfied after attacking her. He came to a round ball. On top mounted a 1.7 kilograms iron rod. They're constantly using iron. It attacks your stomach. In 2 hours. The next morning 5/1. They found out that Junko had died. They were also prepared for such a situation. Hiroshi went to a truck from his previous workplace and steal some more gold sand, cement and brick from a nearby building materials store. He also stole an iron box. Has a diameter of 60 cubic meters of gasoline and 90 cubic meters of gasoline from the site. The first, they wrapped her in a blanket and put her in the VA. Then, they drove the VLE to a vacant lot and put her in a metal case. Hidoshi is a very spiritual person. He was afraid that Yangshi will turn into a ghost and return to avenge him. So, he put another 6 duct tape in the box. Inside is a Japanese TV series called Dragonflies. This is a movie, Junko's favorite Japanese television. During his detention, Junko often mentioned the movie above. Then, the whole group of people mixed the cement and filled it in the barrel. Finally glued with adhesive tape. 20 hours. We drove to Tokyo Bay and wanted to throw the barrel overboard. But due to traffic jams, they're afraid of the traffic police coming to check. So they changed direction. Moved to the coastal park through the case, near Tokyo Bay, and threw the barrel into a lawn on the side of the road. To destroy evidence, they washed the car very cleanly. Finally returned to Shinji's house and destroy the relevant things from Yangshi. On January 2, 1980, 98 days after Yang's death, Hiroshi and Ogura was arrested by the police for playing dirty with a girl. At first I thought the police found her body, so I gave you some details about you. Forever later, they found out they were arrested for another crime. Both men later pleaded guilty to their crimes with the case under investigation and was detained at a juvenile detention center in the county, Nerima, Tokyo. Based on testimony, the police were suspicious and thought maybe they're involved in another case. So a search of the couple's residence was conducted. The 29th of March 1989, 2 months after her death. 2 investigators were at Hiroshi's home and found some women's underwear. So, they think he's involved in some other case. Right after that, the police conducted a separate interrogation of Hiroshi and Ogura. During the interrogation, Hiroshi thought that Ogura told about Junko's death. Should have directly admitted and tell the whole story. The next day, the 30th of March 1989. The case is officially investigated by location provided by Hidoshi. The police found an iron box. Hiroshin was found in a decomposing state. Cannot be identified. The police finally confirmed her identity by comparing fingerprints. The forensic examination showed that her face is deformed. The teeth in my mouth are mostly broken. Chest has a lot of steel needles and the intestines are broken. The hair was torn off, leaving only the scalp. The uterus has lost its shape. Some piece of glass. It was also found inside. She's pregnant. Through the call location that Yam, she called her parents. The police went to Shinji's house and successfully arrested a group of young men, including Shinji's brother. So a group of 7 people were tried. In the first 4, Hidoshi was the main culprit, who were all 16-18 years old. This is an extremely serious case about juvenile delinquency. The police then, I did a closer look at each person's background to know that suspect Hidoshi 18 years old. His father was a securities executive, and I'm a piano teacher. Relatively well-off family circumstances. My mom is busy at work. So, he was raised by his grandmother from a young age. By the time Hiroshi graduated from elementary school, back with parents, because he hasn't been taken care of since he was a kid. So the relationship between Hiroshi and his parents. It's not good to make up for Hiroshi's relationship. His parents ignored the mistakes and try our best to meet material needs. Finance for him. In high school, he took the judo exam at the school and learned some combat skills. What he usually uses to bully other classmates. March 1988, Hiroshi drops out of high school and engage with the bad sectors of society. After seeing that, his family, I asked him to stay away from those people and put him back to work for a materials company. Construction, but he didn't listen at all to that arrangement. In a long quarrel, he even beat his mother. The father immediately threw him out of the house. And then he assembled a group of young delinquents. He dropped out of school and started an organization called It's the Radical Youth Union. He became the leader of the gang and live off extortion and robbery. The suspect Joe Ogura, 17 years old, is Hiroshi's junior. My father is a trucking worker and my mother works in the hotel. His parents divorced when he was in 3rd grade. Then he went back to live with his mother. In high school, he met Hiroshi and quickly dropped out of school and joined the organization that Hiroshi founded. The suspect is 16-year-old Shinji Minato. My dad's the administrative director of the hospital, and my mom's a nurse. At his parents' house he often quarreled. After every argument, the father was angry at him and his brother. Growing up in such an environment, it makes his personality become more and more irritated, and frequently attacked his classmates. On a day, Shinji's brother was robbed of his motorcycle. To get back the car, he asked Hiroshi for help. The two gradually become good friends. Sometimes to avoid being beaten, he invited Hiroshi's friends to return. Shinji's father was very upset with that group of people, but I dare not do anything to them. Over time the father also ignored Shinji. His mother was helpless because of that. It doesn't interfere much either. Jasushi Watanabe, 17 years old, his parents divorced when he was young. He lives with his mother and sister. Mother works in a beauty salon, usually very busy with work. After high school, Hiroshi chases the Sushi family's sister. So you two know each other. After young, she was confirmed dead. Your family held a funeral for you. One of my classmates wrote a letter to grieve that. I can't believe it. I saw you again in such circumstances. You must have been through a lot. We'll never forget you. The principal gave you a diploma. We graduated together. Everyone will always be with you. I hope you don't have to suffer too much. Please rest in peace. Normally, cases committed by minors in Japan will be dealt with by juvenile court. But the case is too serious, so the case was handed over to the Tokyo District Court for trial. The prosecution has. They filed a lawsuit against 4 of them for unlawful detention, deliberately killing and leaving the body. In the 31st of July 1989, the case was officially brought to trial in District Court, Tokyo. The prosecution claims that all 4 are minors, but for what they've done, should be convicted by adult standards. This is a major and extremely heinous crime. This has never happened in Japanese history. But then the defense argued that the defendant's criminal motives were arbitrary. For the victim, she had to endure abuse that ordinary people can't think of. In court, 4 defendants pleaded guilty. The 4 defendants are minors. They have no intention of killing Yaon. They just kept on attacking her. It wasn't intentional killing of her. May 2, 1990, after a 10-month trial, the case has come to an end. Hidoshi's sentenced to 17 years in prison. Okuda's sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison. Shinji's sentenced to 4 to 6 years in prison. Yasushi's sentenced to 3 to 4 years in prison. 3 of the other 7 are co-conspirators. He was also detained in a re-education camp. It's for minors. The prosecution later refused to accept the sentence. I think the sentence is too light. They then appealed to the Tokyo Supreme Court. The 7th of December 1991, next year, the Tokyo Supreme Court has ruled, except that Ogura kept the old project. The sentences of the other 3 were increased. Hiroshi sentenced to 25 years in prison. Shinji was sentenced to 5 to 9 years in prison. Yasushi sentenced to 5 to 7 years in prison. However, the court is not satisfied with such a ruling. Tokyo High Court gave an explanation according to Japanese law at that time that the killers in the case were teenagers, should be entitled to a lenient sentence. After sentencing, the parents of the 4 minor defendants hope that they and their children will be on their knees. Yang's family, I hope your family will give them a chance to rebuild, but was rejected. By order of the civil court, Hidoshi's mother sold the house for 50 million yen, about 8.2 billion at current prices, to compensate Yang's family, through a lawyer. Father of Ogura, he sent a large portion of his income into a bank account managed by a lawyer. Shinji's parents also knew about the incident, but they weren't charged. Junko's family is not happy about that, so they went to the civil lawsuit against Shinji's parents. And Shinji's parents, he also had to pay for his work. 1995 Tutor C. One of the 4 was released after serving his sentence. He was frequently bullied in prison. It gave him a fear of humans. After getting out of prison, he became a shy man. Just sit at home. 1997 Shinji is released after serving his prison term. He left Misato City with his family, but couldn't find a job. In August 2018, he was arrested again for his injuries and sentenced 18 months in prison. 1999 Ogura was released after his prison term. After his prison term, he changed his name to Joe Kamisako. He married a woman soon after. In 2003, he was arrested by the police for another crime and was convicted. 4 years in prison. 2009. Hiroshi was paroled and changed his name to Yokozama Hiroshi after getting out of prison. In 2013, he was arrested for fraud. The case above is one of the cases, the most heinous crime in history. Juveniles in Japan, 4 evil enemies who committed crimes while they were minors. After they get out of prison, they re-offend. Even before sentencing, they swore they would never commit a crime. As soon as the case was filed, Japanese society, it's been beset by legal arguments about juvenile crime. There is an opinion that the minimum age of criminal responsibility should be amended. In the above case, you can see the delinquency of minors. It's a very deep relationship with family education. If we stop that behavior in time, maybe such a tragedy won't happen, even though 10 years have passed. But this is definitely, that's one of the cases, the most haunted in history, Japanese crime. Today's episode ends here, and I'll see you in the next 6. Hello.